Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on the Season 2 premiere of Humans Who Make Games, Adam Conover talks to comedian Ron Funches and Jean Goudon, creative director of the Assassin's Creed series. On Boogie Monster, Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone share a perfect recipe for the quarantined cook. This week on Profiles and Eccentricity, they cover the history of the Coruscant Unity cult, folks for whom a flat earth is ridiculous because they believe it's really a concave shell. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for our full list of shows, featuring hosts like Joe Coy, Amanda Seals, Jessica Chobot, and Jackie Johnson. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Members, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, calm down, it's Dumb People Town.
All right, hey townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population U, we are so glad you're here with us.
Very glad.
Daniel Van Kirk, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Randy, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Doctor?
I feel like we've come with a sense of purpose, and I'll say this as we talk about this show. I really do believe that our world is getting dumber, and the only way to combat that is through comedy, exploring it, trying to understand it.
Yep.
And we don't do that just the three of us. We bring along a
guest.
comedy
Yes.
superstar, a sniper in the box, as it were. And we got someone today that Jay and I have been friends with for a long time and have
And
loved.
I've said this to multiple people, and I've
Yeah.
said it to him too. He helped change a little bit the course of our comedy, which was, he said to us once, man, you got to spend time focusing on your setups. You could probably cut all your setups down in half when you're doing stand-up.
He was the setup master. We're, of
That
course,
was at bowling in Louisville.
You're
Bowling
right,
Louisville.
man.
And this is Tom Segura. Welcome to
Hey,
the show.
buddy.
Thanks for having me. How are
Dude.
those setups going? Are they better?
Great.
They're
So much
better, but I'm telling you,
I was
you're
listening
right.
to the setups on your new album, which is mostly stories.
It's something I still focus on.
It's
and
so good.
I have to
I
remind
actually-
myself of that too.
In my brain, I was like, oh, there's the setup.
There's the
This
setup.
is so good. What he's saying right here, and again, your stories are so great, but what you do is you say, here is the deal.
Yeah.
This is the concept that we're now going to jump into, and now I'm going to tell you about 2 times when I was in a movie theater and someone brought a baby.
Don't you feel like that was San Jose, by the way.
That was I clearly on the road,
Yeah.
clearly killing time.
Yeah.
You're at the San Jose Improv or wherever you were, and you're like, I'm going to go see a movie 2 times in a weekend.
I left out that that this lady came out with her baby and had one of the people that worked at the theater. She goes, I don't care who he is. And I realized that someone in the theater had been like, that's Tom Segura. Because she goes, I don't care who he is.
That's great.
He doesn't talk to me like that. And I was like, your baby's fucking...
You brought a
Anyways.
baby to a movie.
But don't you feel like when you watch set, like a local set, sometimes you're like, that's really funny, some comic up there. You're like, but the problem is they don't know what he's joking at. Like, he's not making it clear what he's joking about.
Right. You need to make it more clear what you're
Or you
actually
took like 2 minutes to set up what you could have done in like 12 seconds.
Yes.
You are so good at economically just being
no,
like,
man,
this
I don't
is
think
it.
so.
No,
Yeah,
dude, you are so good at it. It is great.
I mean, the
was
bit
listening to-
that you almost drove off the road for in the new album.
was the Scared Straight story, the Scared Straight bit, the fact that you're obsessed with that show.
Yeah.
And your favorite episode was the one in the 90s that it only aired once and it was uncensored.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
And you're saying that it exists though in little bits and bites.
it does.
on-
You can go. You can order it and pay $170 for
What?
it. Yeah, because it's like it's one of those things where like Discovery USA LLC owns the rights to it or something. So
You're
you
like
could do-
leasing the rights
yeah,
for an
it's-
hour.
But you
it's
do
crazy.
a really good job of explaining what Scared Straight is to people who don't know.
Yeah,
which
and by
is-
the way, for people that listen, the album is basically it's the audio of my last Netflix special. That's
Right.
what it is,
Okay,
right? So
great.
some people have seen it there, and Netflix holds your audio rights for a year, and you're like, now you can. So all
right, it was phenomenal.
But
So great.
the fucking show was. I remember watching it and being
Oh my
like, "This
God.
is insane."
But this is on television.
This is not and people are like, "Yes, Scared Straight's great," and they're talking about like the A&E show. You're like, "No, that does not even come close
because
to
it's
lining
sixth
up."
graders or young middle school kids.
I don't even talk about like there's a guy who like he gets on his knees to talk to a kid, and he's like, "Why you here, little boy?" And the kid's like, "Oh," and he like, and then he tells him he's gonna mush his fucking face, and the guy's so big, like
Yeah.
so jacked.
Well, no.
And this
How about
kid
the
is
guy
just
he said
shaking.
to put his hand in his pocket?
Oh,
and
hold my pocket, yeah.
Hold my
Oh,
pocket.
I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah.
Hold my pocket.
Hold my pocket.
Hold
And he's
my-
like, gonna make you round. You suck my dick for. And then it's fucking bananas, man. I mean, it
That's
is
too much.
it's-
What was Discovery thinking?
And then and on the
I think we
the
got
whole,
it.
I'm scared
You know,
straight.
you know,
I need
on the
one more for me.
bikes
Yeah.
line,
Yeah, bikes.
So that's a word for word recap of it. That's exactly the exchange, right? Like, why are you here stealing? What the fuck you took? Bikes, and the guy yells at him,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Why? You like? Doesn't your dad have a good job?" And the kid's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah." And you're out here stealing, like disrespecting your father, and the kid's like, "Yeah." He's like, "But you know something? If your dad came here right now, we would stomp a mud hole in his chest." And we're like, "Holy shit!" And these kids are like 12, and they are fucking terrified. And he makes them all take their shoes off.
Yeah, their shoes off and their shoelace. Give me
Yeah,
your shoes.
throw your shoes. And then there's one kid who's a fat kid, and the whole time he's like, "Get this big fat motherfucker over here." So he always calls him a big fat piece of shit. And and you're like, God damn.
Stop.
It's like it's relentless.
It was relentless.
It's uncomfortable. It is also like it reminds me a lot of like. Do you remember Robin Harris,
no.
the comedian, Bebe's Kids?
Oh yeah.
And
Yes.
His whole thing, like in stand up, would he be like, look at this guy right here, and then like everybody would look at that guy, and then he would just be like bald head, shiny head, bald head motherfucker. Like he would just talk like that about everybody.
Rip.
It was like
This
Lisa
guy
Lampanelli, pre
is the
Lampanelli.
the felony murder
version of
Robin Harris, like actually just teeing everybody up.
And he's
then-
the guy. But I mean that just your description of that, and then just how it then relates to your life. How whenever you drive by a bike store,
I scream bikes.
you scream bikes. And
I really
you're-
did for a while.
But what I love is that you come up on a bike store and you start to get it in your bones, and your wife is like, "All right, fine, just go ahead."
Yeah, and she is
hates
still
it.
like, "I hate when you yell so much." And
And she's a comic.
And
She
she's a
gets
comic.
it.
Yeah.
She knows the
gets-
bit.
she
She
knows
knows
the
what it
impulse.
means. She knows the impulse.
she also knows that I'm in a good mood. She's
When
like,
you do it.
She's like, whenever you scream like a black guy, I know you're in a good mood.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's just like,
I hope so.
oh,
I wish somebody would do a follow up on those kids.
Oh,
see,
my
They
God.
actually,
Worked out.
I think they did one where this is actually insane. I was in Charlotte doing a show probably 6 months ago, and a lady in the front row was like waving her hand, and I'm like, could you stop doing? You know when people are like,
What's going on?
yeah, and they're like, oh, I wanted to tell you something. You're like, I'm in the middle of a
The
fucking
show. Do we have the
this
Comedy Zone?
Yes,
Yes.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
My call.
And she goes, "Oh, the bikes kid." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, the bikes kid. What about him?" She goes, "I dated him at that time."
What?
No way.
And I go, "No." And she goes, "Yeah, do you want to see a picture of him now?" And I go, "Yes."
This is during your show?
During the show.
We're like, come on, get up here. Come on, get up here.
Oh, I was like, you know what?
We're
Get
stopping
the
down.
show.
Anybody else interrupting? Fuck you. This lady
is-
She's
the
part of
new
the show.
star of the
Yeah,
show.
exactly.
Yeah.
Welcome.
She's
Welcome
got
to the
photographic evidence.
She's got merch at the end of the show.
exactly.
She goes, I was his girlfriend at the time. No.
Wow.
And so, because, he was like 12, 13, and now
She didn't like him anymore because he got scared straight.
I go, what? She goes, it was super traumatizing to him
No
to
shit.
be on that show.
I can only imagine.
He was so embarrassed.
Sure.
It was
Sure.
just the worst. She hands me her phone, and he's like making this super angry face. He's has sleeveless t-shirt on. He's all tatted up. I'm like, he looks like he fits the part. Like, he looks rough now.
Yeah.
And she goes, he is literally going back to jail right like this week. So he's been in and out of jail.
So it worked.
It worked.
So basically, it worked really well, and
He got scared straight into jail.
So,
Straight into jail.
So everything has a happy ending. Is
And
what
then
we're trying to say.
she posted on my Facebook page.
Picture of him.
Well, not only a picture of him, where where you could write him like a letter.
Oh,
and I
that's
go,
so sweet.
He's gonna get a fucking
Ton of letters from
Oh,
my people.
man.
Yeah, that all say bikes. And he's gonna be like, the fuck is that? Like,
I know.
pictures of bikes and because that's
you have
all
an active
anybody.
fan base.
Yeah, and they would
He's
judge.
gonna get them the day he says to his cellmate, "You know what? I think I'm gonna turn a new leaf. I
Yeah.
can put the past behind me. I'm ready for a new start." And he's gonna get $1 million. Just go
Bikes.
bikes.
Yeah,
hilarious. All right, well, maybe a guy like that will appear in one of our stories that we have sent
You
us,
never
and we'll
know.
jump in and we'll talk
Look,
more
it's
about.
dumb behavior, and that's what we focus on.
It
this
is
show.
so much.
We
And
have to
thanks to
combat
everybody on the Facebook page.
Oh yeah, the Facebook page is growing. We've set up a Dumb People Town Facebook page in the last couple of weeks. It's just
like 1,000 a
skyrocketing.
week.
We'll
Yeah.
put every story we do
Amazing.
up there. We put other stories. I put the picture of when I won a meat raffle in Wisconsin. I got 3 bags of walleye. It
Yeah.
was a wonderful day.
Meat raffle. He takes fish. That tells you who he is.
Well,
wrong with you?
I had a selection of stuff, and
He
I
looked at the meat.
he looked at the meat.
yeah.
When you see the meat, and
Like,
you're like,
meat
"I'll take the
shouldn't-
fish,"
It was
that
in
should
the
tell you something
everything
about
was
the
in the
meat.
That's
back
true.
of an arrow star,
That's
and
true.
I went walleye that had been caught that day.
Yeah, meat should
fresh.
not marble that way.
Marvelous. No, I agree. I
But
agree.
someone wrote in on the Facebook page that,
That
you
they've
want to
been
show
to that.
So yeah, somebody wrote in saying that they had been to the same meat raffle in Partyville, Wisconsin that I was at with my mom. And then we did a story time with Maria Bamford. We had her on a couple episodes ago, and there were guys selling meat out of trucks in Michigan that were like very, very sketchy,
Shady.
as one is when they're
Clearly
selling.
looking to scope a house out to take what's in there and that.
We had Amy Amstoltz Abel. There's a hyphen in there somewhere. This is what she wrote to us on the Facebook page. I want to share this with everybody. Boots on the ground for the meat truck. She's
yeah.
out there. She's in it.
We got our townies on the ground.
I live in mid-Michigan, out in the country, and the truck, the one we talked about, has stopped at our house. It's a
Shit.
beat-up white Toyota with a giant cooler on the back. The guy is short, 50-ish, dirty sweatshirt, and hasn't shaved in about 3 days. Essentially, he's like a theme park cartoonist dream.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
A caricature, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
He comes to the door with, I think Randy called this, a laminated brochure and has a hustle. When I answered the door, he was pushy and wanted to come in and talk about the selection. When my husband, who is 6'1", 240 pounds, came up behind me, he jumped off the porch and tore down towards town.
That's never a
he
good
just
thing.
ran
He
away.
just
Showed
ran
up.
away.
The husband just shows up, and the guy just runs.
You know what? We're good. Yeah, out. They come around every couple of years and they look the same every time, like serial killers. Then this is the best thing she follows it up with. My Schwan man's name is John, and he stops by on Thursday nights between 5 and 6. If my 17-year-old answers the door, it's breakfast pizzas and Moose Tracks ice cream. I'm the one who orders the vegetable and fish. Love the show and all of you at Dumb People Town. You make being a male person easier when you're in my ears. Thanks, Amy.
She's a male person.
She's
out
not
there.
a male gender person,
No,
but a male
Hair. Oh, I
Right.
got you.
All right, well,
Yeah.
thank you,
Moshe
Amy.
That was-
Kasher, we had a story of a guy shitting on the side of the road. Somebody said they're going to go there and find where that guy did that.
Bless it.
That's
No,
just-
he didn't just shit. He shit, then he picked it up and started throwing
it into the woods
like a primate.
That's a whole other level.
whole 11. And
Yeah.
then other people tried to go. They went in the woods to look for something else and found it.
You
Right.
can't leave out that detail.
No, you cannot.
There was
All right,
a
do we have
hunt for it.
stories?
We do.
All right, what
so
do we got?
sitting. What if I was like, nope, that's
No,
all I
that's
got.
it.
All right, Tom,
Thanks, Tom. Really appreciate you.
That was
coming by.
great. This was sent in by Paloma Bennett at Buffy Fan 1992.
New submitter.
Yeah,
Yes.
love it.
A San Francisco man accused of burglarizing an apartment last May had an interesting defense when earlier this week his attorneys argued that the suspect was actually attempting to board a spaceship he thought was on the building's roof and therefore was not responsible for his actions.
I
believe
feel
him.
like you
I
have
believe
to
him.
be you have to be with your attorney going over every scenario, and you just go like, "What about the spaceship?"
Spaceship? Are we gonna do spaceship?
I think it's
Spaceship?
time Randy brought in his southern attorney who's like, nah, you wanna.
My name is Deluxe Bluesins, and you will address me as such.
And he's
We gonna
all-
do a spaceship defense.
Yana,
Yana. Yeah.
my client
Yes.
is not from this earth.
Okay.
Where, pray tell, is your client from?
My client is from Tremar.
I don't
What is
It's
recognize it.
galaxies away, y'all.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor.
Yes,
That the relevance of where his client from has nothing to do with the fact that he broke into this building.
Overruled.
I'll allow it.
Why would he be breaking into
I'll
the building?
allow it.
Wants
Where,
to
I just want
go
to hear more
home. This earth is not for him, and neither is the judicial
Sir, you
system.
can't be drinking out of a brown paper bag while you're defending it.
Y'all you know what level attorney I am.
We do. You were court assigned.
If I
do
could, Your Honor.
Yes.
Just to back up my lead counsel
Yeah,
here.
okay, yeah.
Can our defendant help where his spaceship is landing?
No.
Do you decide where your car has been parked when you are being picked up?
Amen.
You do not. You do not. So our client, therefore, had to go where that spaceship was. It was just on the top of this building.
Sir, you're not even sitting at the lawyer's table. I don't know why he's also speaking for your client.
He has the right idea. Everybody here should be on my side.
Just these two effeminate Southern lawyers in San Francisco.
No, just
getting-
the flabbergasted nature of a guy who feels like his defense is bulletproof.
Right.
Like I can hear your character dabbing sweat. Your Honor.
I
Your
don't
Honor, Your Honor.
understand what we're talking about. By the way, everybody here white. Everybody's
Oh, yeah,
white.
yeah, for
Everyone's
sure.
white,
Yeah,
black,
yeah.
I don't
And Tom's
understand.
character thin in the face but enormous, like
Big.
it's just
Big
about
gat
600 pounds.
and a colorful tie.
The button, you just reach out, you push it through like that.
Yeah, literally, that was their defense. He argued he did not break into them to steal anything or do anything wrong. He was actually attempting to board a spaceship he thought was on the building's
There
roof.
has to be video, and that's what he's like. Look, there's no way, man. Like
Well,
if we
did he
don't
take
talk-
anything? That's the question. Did he take anything?
Public defender, aka the name of Tom's character, Jeff Adachi.
Jeff
My
Adachi.
name is.
I got you. Yeah,
My name is Adachi.
Can Adachi speak?
Adachi, please.
He told the court.
on the E.
And there is a tilde just roaming around in there.
He told the court that Santonio Aviles was suffering from a meth-induced psychosis. No shit. And believed the end of the world was nigh.
By the way,
They
that's-
literally wrote
Yes,
was
it
nigh.
is.
It
It
is.
kind of is.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
So
we're,
meth or no meth,
we're like 3 steps away from that being real.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like all he has to do is read a little
Yeah.
bit of news and a couple of websites
We could be a
to be
week
like, it's
away
over.
from a lot of us on rooftops looking for someone to come
I'm
raise.
just glad we're getting out of that Paris climate deal, man.
Oh, thank God. That was a rough deal on everybody,
yeah.
right?
Talk about being railroaded into something.
Aviles somehow convinced a resident of the building to let him into the complex. Now, we talk about usually the dumb people in our dumb people town happen to be
The crime committers.
no.
Then there's the
person
enablers.
who
Yeah.
who was convinced by a guy on meth to be let into the building. That might be the dumbest
Do you
person
think
in
the
this story.
spaceship
Was
defense was what he was saying? I need to get up on the roof.
What
There's
if
a spaceship.
the witness is like, he says spaceship on top of the roof? So I just said, yeah, come on in.
Yeah. I was like,
was
sure.
I'd
am I?
argue.
Yeah, who
Who
am I?
might
Who am
argue
I?
with that?
He said to go home.
Yeah. He's got to go up top and go home.
Once inside the building, Santonio climbed onto the fire escape and found an open window that he used to enter an apartment and take a short nap.
All right.
Yeah,
So
okay.
he's not in that much of a hurry.
By the
Before
way-
you go out into space, you got to take a nap.
Man, you need a lot of naps.
You
yeah,
need
many
rest
naps.
before you go up into the great
That's just
beyond.
astronaut 101.
absolutely. You got to
I
be
mean-
rested.
Thank you.
When Santonio awoke, he threw an inflatable exercise ball onto the fire escape, figuring he could use it as transportation into the next galaxy.
So
Fine.
far, it's all adding up.
Yes,
the way,
this makes 100%
Everything
sense.
makes perfect sense.
He also stole a backpack from the apartment and loaded it with a passport and earthquake kit.
By the way, if your passport is it his passport?
No.
It's someone
there.
else's passport.
Yeah, but he figured
If your passport
Yeah.
is that readily available that someone can just walk in and grab it, then
Right.
it's in the wrong place.
That's crazy.
I blame the person whose passport was just lying around.
But I also am like, wait, there's a spaceship on the roof, but he's concerned that he might get all the way out into space.
right.
get to a checkpoint.
And someone won't let him in. He'll have to come back.
Do you ever do little fun things like board with each other's tickets and IDs?
We
just
haven't
like as
done
a
that.
little gag.
We totally
We
should.
should.
Like, yeah,
no, but
just
do you
like-
know the story about one time We were.
No, yeah.
we were in Minneapolis, or we were in Minneapolis, and then we were heading up. We did a show on Friday at a theater, and then we were heading up to Toronto to do
the comedy
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
that place,
I love
right?
that place.
So heading up there to do the comedy bar.
We had 3 shows that night that we were going to, 2 shows that night we were going to do.
And it was the morning of. We'll go to the airport. I go through
Saturday.
I go through the security fine. Randy, the guy, is like, anytime a guy's like typing for like
Yeah.
way too
He
long.
was typing way too long at the desk. I was like, why are you typing so much? I'm starting to breathe, get a little worried. He's like, your passport has been expired. And I was like, I looked at the date wrong. I thought that I didn't realize that
You thought
they
the
had-
month was the year, and he
Yeah.
messed it up. Okay.
So you did fuck up though.
He totally fucked up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, great. What are we going to do? The guy's like, there's no way you're getting into that country, nor are you getting out of this country, nor are you going to get out of that country if I let you into that country. He's like, you're done. So Randy goes back to this little hotel, which isn't even like...
It wasn't a Days Inn. It was just called a Days. Like they couldn't
With
even
a Z.
afford the inn.
No, they were like, we don't want to run into, like, we're not that good. We're
Yeah,
not Days in good.
Days Hotel.
Days
It's a
Hotel.
Days Hotel.
And
Which, by
so-
the way, the only time you're really spending time at a hotel is at night.
Right.
So they've even gotten that wrong. It should just be called
Nights.
the Nights.
So we go the Nights Inn. Remember that place?
Yeah.
And we stayed at KNIGHT. That's a horrible motel. So Randy stays. I fly to Toronto, hanging out. On the plane, I'm like, I'm just gonna, I guess, go to these people and just start apologizing,
Getting their money back.
and
Yeah.
offering their money back, doing a Q&A, try to do some comedy. Maybe I'll let some local people go, and I'll give back all the money we were supposed to make on this gig. By the time I get there, Randy had already talked to the place. And he's like, I have a solution. They pull down a screen. Randy Skypes in from the hotel.
No.
Which, by the way, spotty Wi-Fi at best.
Yeah.
No,
At
at Days. At Days.
At Days.
Dial up.
I mean, who would
Days
believe
dial-up?
Days? They got a little Days dial-up.
Ethernet. So I'm
Earthlink.
right, and I'm on stage, and he's in a 3-second delay coming in on the screen, and our whole act, which is built upon timing, is now completely thrown off, and he's trying to guesstimate when to jump in, and we're
I'm in a hotel room looking at my computer at a small desk
Like
at
a
a
sniper
Days.
judging the wind.
Yeah,
Like,
I
right,
just-
and meanwhile, you're being projected on the screen, so what you're seeing isn't the audience. It's not like the computer
Yeah.
is facing the audience;
Right.
it's a giant screen. So he can't even hear what's.
But are they
going-
loving this whole dynamic?
They're loving
They're
it, and it's like
not one person walked out.
no
Nobody
one
asked for
wanted their money back. We did 45 minutes. I did
45 minutes.
I did
Like
a
that.
bunch,
Yeah. Hotel
like that.
room.
Hotel room, and like there would be times we kept bringing up other people in between. Like we were doing sets, and then I was auditioning new people to replace Randy because
That's funny.
in our act. So basically, I would say do one of your jokes, and I'll just Sklar brother it up, and I'll try to add some tags to whatever joke you do.
Sure.
We'll see if we can be a new team because fuck Randy for forgetting. And it really was a truly transcendent kind of cool experience. Then we brought Randy out on the computer, and people could put on headsets and talk to him in the merch line, and it was really great. It turned out to be great, but that was a moment where the passport nearly
So
screwed our life.
what you're
Amazing.
saying is this breaking and entering alien named
Yeah.
Santonio is being more prepared
Than
by
Randy
looking
was.
for
Yeah,
a
I'm sure
passport.
his passport was up to date.
Oh,
so here's a
100%.
guy who believes he's being picked up by an alien ship on a roof. His shit's up to date. Me, a respectable comedian, person who's on the road, not up to
I
date.
can't believe though that I thought that without a doubt it was like let's throw the crazy spaceship thing as a defense. It literally
This is
a-
actually the real defense.
this
Oh,
is
yeah.
real.
Yeah.
He really was
Yeah.
going there.
I love that he took an earthquake kit.
yeah.
He's leaving
Leaving
Earth.
Earth, yes.
Earth is in
Yeah.
the title of the thing. That's where you need it.
I know.
He's like,
No.
Who knows where
There
we're
might-
going?
where we're going, maybe there will be.
He knows
earthquakes.
where he's going. He knows how shaky it is up there, man.
Shaky
He knows
ground.
He needs it.
The passport.
Your Honor, the only unjustice is this so Santonio can't go home.
Objection.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Objection. Unjustice is not a word. It is injustice.
The only injustice is that you're not allowing injustice.
Semantics, Your Honor.
Sustained. The passport, believe it or not, guys, since he wasn't even in his own building, let alone apartment, is not Santonio of Isles.
It's a woman.
It belonged to a woman.
Yes.
Jason Sklar for the win, who, like him, had long dark hair. So he was like,
This'll work.
Which means he might have looked at two passports and been
Right.
like,
if your name is Santonio and you have long dark hair, you're going two places: on meth or you're working at the Guitar Center. So I don't know really what options he had. He's going to space or he's trying to sell you a bass.
Santonio testified that he believed the passport would ensure his seat on the spaceship, according to a release by the San Francisco
I
Public
just love that
Defender's
there are
Office.
rules in his mind that he's like, I better follow this.
Yeah.
This is space for
For
Christ's sake.
sure. At some
Very
point,
rigid up there.
At some point, while Santonio was getting ready to leave Earth forever, the apartment resident and his girlfriend woke up to see the strange man in their home. The resident tackled Santonio and began punching him while the woman hit the suspect with a baseball bat. We got a Pulp Fiction now. The spider has caught himself a fly.
Here's the thing. After he leaves, battered and torn, who yells at whom for leaving the window open? Like, is it the guy yelling at the, or the woman yelling at the guy? You left that open. I told you not to leave it open.
You left your passport out.
He yelled at her.
He yelled at her.
He yelled at her.
He yelled at her because she, he was like, let's keep the fucking window closed, get the AC pumping in here. And she's like, I like natural air. And he's like, just make sure you close that fucking thing before we go to bed.
Because you never know what's going to jump in.
And this is the kind of
This
shit
is
that
what
happens.
happens.
You know
Yeah.
what? You're right. That's why she came in so hot with the baseball bat.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
she was trying to overcompensate.
She knew
for
she had to make up for it.
I
Yeah.
did it, honey. I did it. Oh, you did what?
Yeah.
You did what?
You mean
By the way, like what a keeper for a woman to grab
know,
a
just
baseball
baseball
bat.
bat.
She's not fucking
and
around.
start slugging at
Pete Rose in his ass.
No.
God
Getting
damn.
mad hits.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's insane though is the feeling of seeing an intruder in your space.
It's gotta be terrifying. man.
Like I'll tell you this is the tiniest thing, and I was reaching into the pool filter for our pool. Yes, I have a pool, and I'm not proud of it.
You should.
And it's why I'm house poor. I was like, what's this ball doing in here? I didn't know that we had a ball in the pool filter. I pull it out. It's a giant rat. Dead, drowned rat. I have been traumatized by that intruder in my space for about 2 days. Like terrified to pick up anything in my house. Every sock that's balled
What's
up on the
this
floor
ball?
is another rat. I pulled out a rat.
Oh my God.
And I was so my kids.
Did you chase the kids with it?
No, I had to hold it together in front of these little people so that they didn't think that it was something terrifying.
Yeah.
I was losing my mind over that
love
thing.
this.
I can't imagine.
How hard did you wash your hands?
I scrubbed.
Did you wash a layer of skin off?
Did you go to AutoZone and buy goop?
Pumice?
Or just lava?
How big? How big?
It's about this big. Real rat size.
Yeah.
And
This big for the podcast listeners at home is about
size
this big.
7
Yeah.
inches.
No, actually,
about
Dana was
2
more
of
like
my
this.
penis. All right. It's wow. It was
3.
enormous, and it was
Scared the
bejesus out of me. I can't imagine a person suddenly being in your space. This is not a person.
I
This is
just
not my
love that
space.
she knew where the bat was.
Yeah.
She was ready.
Rats
Yeah.
scare me. I would scream like a child.
I
if saw
nearly
it.
did. I
Yeah.
nearly.
I can't believe
Maybe you'll close that window next time, Jason.
Yeah.
Close the window
But
on
you
that
did, man.
pool filter.
I mean, I have a bat. I have a bat in my
I have a bat.
At any point
house.
after
Yeah.
the rat,
Don't.
you saw the rat, did you say we need to get rid of the pool?
There was a moment where I was going to be like, everyone out. Everyone out.
Fill it in.
Everyone
Fill
out.
it
Fill
in.
it in, and we're going to have a great yard.
Concrete it.
We're draining this thing, man. Yeah.
But I was draining the swamp. But I was like, fuck, man. It was one of those moments where I'm like, I got to hold it together.
That you having to do that is the best part. That's the funniest part of that scene.
A person in your house.
Times that rat by 100.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a banana rat?
No.
Can you pull one up?
Oh, you mean from the subway system?
No.
Or from like Brazil?
Cuba. So I did Gitmo. I did a show there.
Yeah. How was
And
that?
It was fucking really
Did
fun.
they love it?
The terrorists have like a really good sense of humor.
Right?
actually.
They
Yeah.
totally got everything.
Yeah,
Wait, they didn't allow you to play for the terrorists.
No.
What if they did and you're like, wait a minute, do you think my comedy is torture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this like a new
Segura
version?
or waterboarding?
There are 2
waterboarding.
photos here. There's a photo of this banana rat being so badass, it's crawling
Dude,
through barbed wire.
they're so enormous.
Like, it's supposed to.
Please
But
show
for
it.
scale, this guy hunted one.
Oh,
They
God.
look like beavers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
My Lord.
Look at the
my
size of it.
God.
Look at this banana
I mean,
rat.
it's like a dog, right?
Yeah, it is like a dog.
You saw one.
So we go to do. For people who don't know that Gitmo is they
Not
think
the
it's
best
just-
conditions?
No, it's fucking. It's a
all inclusive, right?
It's a fucking base with 25,000, 30,000 enlisted troops there,
Yeah.
and they have a school, they have a high school, they have a KFC, they have Subway, they have
course they
a
do.
grocery store. Like it's it's a whole. So we go down there to do shows.
Kids hanging out at the KFC.
Oh, they're totally
Just skateboarding around the
skateboarding
KFC.
around, having fun, man. So they go, if you'll see banana rats. Well, what's that? And they're like, there's an infestation of these. And a guy,
Stop. Wait,
Jesus.
stop it. This
guy's
guy
giving a banana
is
rat
giving a
beer.
banana rat a beer.
That's all.
That
man.
is-
This will go up on the Facebook page.
Oh my God.
That's a
That-
dump.
and by the way,
You saying there's an infestation in Gitmo?
Well, there's a guy whose
Yeah.
paid job is to
sweep
drive
around.
around with a 22 and just shoot as many as he can.
Yeah.
And they can't keep up with it. He's like, he doesn't even put
we
a
don't have
dent in
enough.
this shit.
Like
Yeah.
we are at a military base and we don't have enough ammunition.
We don't have enough ammunition for these banana
Well, you've
rats.
heard about the New York stat, right? At any given time, every single person in Manhattan is on average 7 feet away from a rat.
Oh, I believe that.
That
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
it.
I've seen
Going
it.
on the subway, you count them.
You can- yeah.
Waiting for the train.
Well, we pull up for a gig. We're doing like gigs all over the base, right?
Yeah.
And we pull into this parking lot at a restaurant. They're like, you're going to do a show here. And as we pull up, we're in the van. The driver, the lights are into like the bush. He goes, "Oh, there's one right there." And they're vegetarian, right? So they're eating bushes, and he goes, "Go take a look at it." So the van lights are on it, and it's like 4 of us get out of the car, and we start to get closer and closer. And as-
What are you saying,
no,
Tom?
I kind of lean forward. As I lean forward, one of the comics runs his fingers up my back.
No.
I hit a note I've never hit.
You went Mariah Carey?
And I went full Mariah Carey, but to the point where then they were like, "Did you really just make that noise?"
Yeah.
And I had to be like, "Nah, I was playing like
was just
for
joking.
I was joking for you guys."
Yeah, yes, and that motherfucker.
And it was a shriek among it was a
I
child
love-
like
No.
it was terrifying, man.
It's
It was
terrifying. It's terrifying.
Could you
Imagine
imagine
if you picked
waking
one
up?
Oh
and
man,
you thought it was a ball.
You thought it was a ball. You would never think that was a ball. Okay, so large man in your
Long-haired
house.
guy in the house. She's clubbing away.
Yeah,
like
they're both
Barry-
going. They are
she's
beating the
Barry
shit out of
Bonds.
this
Did
guy.
they stop
Trying
him
to make
there?
the Hall of
Yes, Santonio suffered a black eye and various bruises, scratches, and scrapes. According to the release, the man who lived in the apartment suffered an injured toe. This is, I always say, every dumb people tell
Town
story
has
has one
one
sentence
sentence
where
that-
I'm like,
This is
oh.
why it's in the
Yeah.
dump in the town.
The man who lived in the apartment, this is from his fight with Santonio, which will tell you everything you need to know about Santonio. The man who lived in the apartment suffered an injured toe and developed a rash from the encounter.
Can I just tell you, I'm so impressed at the level of detail in this story.
Yeah.
Most of these stories would be like a man broke into the house
And
and,
that's it.
was arrested.
Yeah. I thought he was going on
maybe
space.
mention the crazy defense. Maybe.
Maybe
Right.
the defense.
Yeah.
But the level of detail of the bat, the
Yeah.
passport,
That's-
the rash.
The rash.
like
The rash.
What rash? Like ringworm?
Like if
what
you
does
get
he
into a
have?
fight with someone and you wind up with a rash afterwards, that you are fighting someone who's got issues.
you
Well,
didn't just
Tom-
touch that. You might have fucked that person
always
with
say-
that toe. That's
It's an old
Toe
adage.
fucking.
Dumb people town is in the details.
Yes, it
I
is.
mean, it's all about the. But this is Pulitzer Prize.
It is
The
unbelievable.
rash. And you know that the rash wasn't, probably like, what, a day and a half incubation period? So that he was
Santonio
like,
might have bit that thing. That might be why.
It's got rabies.
Maybe he thought that was a ticket to get on the spaceship. He's like, just take this toe.
Take one.
oh my
toe.
God, you guys, I was wrong. That this is the name of his lawyer. During the trial, public defender, it's even better for you, Tom.
Ready?
Jacques Wilson
Oh, it's perfect. I love it.
That's Jock Wilson.
argued that Santonio did not enter the home to rob or hurt anyone, but was suffering a meth-induced mental health crisis.
Sure.
The defense included testimony from an expert witness who explained that symptoms of meth psychosis include delusions, paranoia, and hallucinations. I ask you guys now, yes or no? Did he get off on this defense?
Ooh, good
Okay.
question.
Now,
Yana.
closing remarks. Closing remarks. There, Jacques. Jacques Wilson.
Jock Wilson.
You just have to listen to the expert, Yana. The expert will tell you that this man can hallucinate.
My name is George Carlson V, and you shall address me as such.
And you're an expert on space travel.
I'm an expert on hallucinations.
Tom, you are our guest, so you have the option to go first or last if you want to see what other people do.
Not
you.
You said he got off.
Got
He
off.
got off on his his I was trying to get on a spaceship defense. Jason?
No way he got off. Still broke and entered. Still tried to steal stuff. No way he got
Yeah,
off.
he's definitely did not get off. Fined.
Uncompassionate man.
You were defending
I
him.
wish people could see the facial character. Your eyes are closed every time you talk
I
like
can't
this.
face this injustice.
It's injustice.
It's right now.
It's making me come up with words that don't exist.
The defense of Santonio of Isles worked. He was acquitted of robbery. He was acquitted of robbery, attempted robbery, assault with force likely to produce great bodily injury, and acquitted of battery with serious bodily injury. If convicted, he could have faced 14 years behind bars. But Jock Wilson.
Jock Wilson, everybody.
Remains victorious.
Unjustice no more.
Imagine Jock Wilson.
By the
your
way,
character.
Unjustice with Jock Wilson. I would watch
yeah.
that
Man,
show.
I would
watch that show. Unjustice.
I can imagine you just sitting down in front of him. You've opened up your lunch that you've brought to the meeting. You're like, now here's what we're going to do.
Oh yeah,
Jock
and
Wilson
he
is-
would repeat injustice many times. Oh
yeah.
like Jock would.
Unjustice.
Son, what they doing to you? What they're doing to you is injustice.
Jock Wilson lays out the paper upon which he bought his Quiznos sandwich, opens up his potato chips,
Yep.
dumps the
Whole thing.
whole first, whole back out, and then just picks.
And you
these-
see like onions and mayo the whole time. Just
And while in
falling
one
out.
hand is dumping out the chip, the other is sucking on the straw.
he has without a doubt, he's got a goatee like the guy from KFC, Colonel Sanders.
Colonel
Sanders goatee.
He's got a point.
Whoever comes in, he turns. He's like, "See this plaque on the wall? What's that say? Injustice." And that's what I fight against.
Why would you put it as a plaque on your wall?
That's my mission in life.
Seems like you're
reminder.
celebrating it by putting it up there.
It reminds me.
It reminds There's a lot of injustice in this world.
These are the times I wish that we had a production company in Dumb People Town just to make a fake commercial for
his
Jock
law.
Wilson.
Wilson.
Unjustice.
Okay, so I'm going to put this to our fans. If you, our fans out there, you want to make a fake commercial
Anything.
for
Yeah.
anything,
Post it on the Facebook page.
Jacques Wilson, Unjustice Law Firm. Do it. Post on the Facebook page. That's one story down in the book. When we come back, more Tom Segura, Dumb People Town. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Dumb People Town. Follow Tom on Twitter. He is at
Tom Segura.
Tom
And
Segura.
you have an amazing podcast with your wife.
Your Mom's House podcast.
Your
We,
mom's house. Tell me about it.
We just did episode 398.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. It's shit. We've been since 2010. We started
Yeah.
doing that
Yes,
show.
we started
That's
around the same
crazy.
time. It's great.
And yeah, it's a bunch of crazy. We play a lot of audio clips.
Mm-hmm.
We make fun of all the nonsense on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
People send us tons of clips, like they send you guys articles, and we catch up with each other, what we're doing, and we just
Hard to do though, like
It's-
right in
it
life.
is,
When is
man.
that is probably the most concentrated time you get to catch
Like
up with
every,
your
if
wife.
a marriage is having trouble, I'd say start a podcast and you guys can
I
connect.
know you really do connect.
Work
you
it
really
out.
do.
Have you worked out any Have you ever worked out anything serious on there?
No, the show is so silly.
It's so silly.
and it's like it's inside joke on inside joke, and it's all 100 inside jokes. If it ever gets like really serious, we stop recording. Yeah, so we the focus of the show is that it's like it really is silliness, So
What have you found? I mean, because truthfully, your stand-up, I mean, you've always been great, and there are a lot of people we know who are like, man, these people are great stand-ups. This person is a great stand-up, but I feel like it has taken off. It has really taken off in the last year or so.
stand up,
Yeah,
for you.
like in terms of
yeah.
You being the draw, you being able,
It's
because you were
changed.
going out.
Yeah.
What changed it? Do you
Oh,
think?
Netflix, 100%.
You think so?
I mean, well, the combination. The podcast got much bigger. Like it grew much bigger than we ever thought it would.
Right.
And then Netflix, and then at the same, they feed each other. So
Right.
podcast fans feed your live shows. Netflix feeds your podcast.
Was the Netflix original?
The first one wasn't. The second one was. The mostly story one is the one that just became an album.
Right. They originally they made that a Netflix original. That's it. You have to get to that spot, and then do they promote it? Do a good job promoting it?
Yeah, I mean, they spotlighted it when it came out. They put billboards up.
That's great.
It's funny though. Like sometimes I see people do like a lot of press and stuff, but I feel like for Netflix, in my experience, it's like those things just either find an audience or it's not.
And you did.
Yeah, you just kind of go like, people will watch it. You know?
I mean, that is really because when we were hanging with you, you were like featuring for Jay Moore, featuring for Joe Rogan.
That's true.
But headlining on your own as well.
Sure, yeah.
But you were going on the road with those guys. Those guys love bringing you out there because you set the table so well for them. And then, like, I feel like now you've really blown up into the stratosphere, which is a wonderful thing.
It's pretty cool, man. I mean, to be able to, just to sell some tickets, you're like, oh, this is awesome.
That is the thing. So when you go to a town, it's no longer like, oh man, what are the ticket counts? What are they going to be? You know that it's going to be good.
It changes the whole weekend, right? Changes the whole
show.
Everything.
Yeah. Hit bonuses. You have fun. You know people.
Or you do a theater.
Or you do theaters.
Yeah, I've been doing it. I did like 30 theaters this year, and I'm doing 30 more starting next week.
Dude, that is
phenomenal.
It's
amazing.
crazy.
How can people find out where and when?
Well, I have my summer shows are all on sale at tomsegura.com, and then June 9th, all my fall shows go on sale. So
phenomenal.
There's a
Pick them up.
Bunch of cities.
Yeah.
Go check that out. We got another story?
Of course we do.
Let's do it.
This was sent in by Milogan, Milogan, at Milogan.
Nice.
Thanks, buddy. Elkhorn, Nebraska.
We haven't had a Nebraska story.
This guy
in the Cornhusker
he
state.
fits in dumb people down. An Elkhorn man is facing felony charges after Douglas County investigators learned he had been sending prostitutes to his neighbor's home for several years.
Just for fun?
For fun?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's a great guy.
He would just call up hookers and be like,
here we go.
His name is David. When you get, or he called, like, I'm David, and would give the address.
Yes.
And just be like, I want you coming in hot.
Just
bring
come in, bring it. Like, get naked on the porch.
And for years.
Titties out.
If it goes for years, there's a part of me, if I'm the guy doing the
just
pranking,
accepting it.
It's like, he likes this.
Yeah.
Right? Because years, wouldn't you think after years you'd figure out who the fuck was doing this?
Twice, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Years? I got a phone call on my phone this morning from the car service. It'll be right in front of your address in 10 minutes. I look at my phone this morning. It's downstairs. I keep my phone plugged downstairs. I don't put it in my bedroom. I come downstairs. I make the kids breakfast, make the kids lunch, make the coffee, then pull my phone out. I pull it out, 2 phone calls. Car service will be there in 10 minutes. I was like, my first thought is, what did I fuck up?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be on a plane?
I'm supposed to be on a plane
We have a gig
somewhere.
tonight?
Where am I supposed to go?
Did your heart
I'm
just?
like, what
That's
did I
the
screw up?
worst
That was
feeling.
my first thought. Okay. Then I call up the number to call him back and be like, hey, where is this car service? I'm in Los Angeles. Where is it? They're like 190 Allen Street, New York City, heading over to JFK. I was like, that is not me. You Randy Sklar? Yeah. Your number 323-333. It's like, yep, that's my number. And I was like, I did not order this car. I'm like, who has? Then I'm like, who's got my number?
Yeah.
Who's ordering cars?
Yeah.
Who's going from this place? This identity theft. Now I'm like, I'm gonna be in this whole thing. This now.
Good thing you already made the coffee.
Good. Thank God I made the coffee because I was like, I came in hot, titties out, like ready to go. I was like, what's going on here? What I realized is that it was they had screwed up for the film festival that we were in. This is going to drop after, but for the film festival
gotcha.
that we were in New York.
Yeah.
For the 15th, that they had screwed up the date of when my car service was supposed to be. But I didn't know. This is 2 phone calls on my thing. So if a hooker gets delivered to my house twice,
You're getting to the bottom of it.
I'm like, I got identity.
You're getting to the bottom
I'm
of that
calling
ass.
motherfucking LifeLock.
Yeah.
And I wonder, do you think he spread it out to like multiple neighbors or just one neighbor?
Get into it.
I think it's just
I'm
one.
always doing this to Todd.
That's right.
Like just only him.
Todd even
You know
moved.
who would love
Todd,
this?
Todd,
Joe would love this.
I need
Love
your
this
new
shit.
address, Todd. I know we're not neighbors anymore, but I want to be able to keep up. Do we send out Christmas cards every year? Can I get that new address, Todd?
Todd, what is?
God damn it.
Todd Lipinski. But here's the thing about it, which is unbelievable. Could be the greatest Secret Santa. I don't know what the Secret Santa spending limit is.
Yeah.
But if a hooker comes in under that, it doesn't get better than that.
But here's the thing: he's ordering hookers to someone's home, so
So
like
someone else has to pay.
the first exchange is always going to be like, "All right, so like,
Money?
what's up?" And
Yeah.
then the guy's going to be like, "What's up with what?" Like,
You lost.
you want me to piss in your mouth? It's $300, dude. Like, he's like,
The family home
yeah.
Oh,
that these
no.
prostitutes went
Family.
to. The family has 2 small children.
Oh, yes.
Honey, can you
better.
get that? Mom's busy. Just see who it is.
That's why I don't let my kids answer the
Mom,
door.
it's somebody named Cheyenne.
So
Cheyenne.
so my kids are super into Hamilton.
Okay.
This I have to give so many props to my wife.
They've been to the show. Have they been to the show?
Where we got tickets.
This
We probably
dude
waited
waited in line for 4.5 hours.
and got
me 2 tickets.
8 hours. You're lucky, you lucky son of a
Thank you.
bitch.
No,
I thank you
he
every
did
time.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like live tweeting him in line
You
at
did not.
5
Yeah,
in the
wait
morning.
for 8 hours. Or I think Tom Segura was about to tell me I could have gotten you 6 just on my own. No,
Bro, I
but
could text right now.
why?
I got Hamilton's number.
Jock Wilson.
Jock Wilson.
Unjustice.
It's Unjustice.
It's Unjustice. You waited 10 hours.
Lin-Manuel is a buddy of mine, man.
Is he really?
No.
God, he made me believe it.
God,
he made me
sold
believe
it. Sold it. Should be on Better
my
Call
kids
Saul.
so the opening of the first song, Alexander Hamilton, it starts out, how does a bastard something son of a whore.
Yeah.
Son of a whore.
Sure.
So my kids, who are not old enough to know what a whore is, they
How old?
ask,
Just for reference. How
17 and 22.
Almost 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 10 and almost 12.
almost 10 and almost 12. They don't know what whores are.
Okay.
The 12-year-old probably should know what a whore is, but she doesn't. Okay. So the 9-year-old said to my wife, what's a whore? I mean, they're singing the lyrics. They're saying out loud. And
Were you glad you didn't have to
I
field
was so
this?
happy that I wasn't there. And my wife just thought about it for a second. And she's like, just a woman who's gone through a real difficult time. She's just having a hard time. And that's what it is. She's just having a hard time.
Totally true.
Totally true.
On point.
What's
It's
a
not- she's
whore?
like-
She's just having a hard time.
She's a cool chick, but she's
She's
having
just-
a fucking rough day.
having a rough go.
She's having a moment.
Having a rough time. So now
I love
I'm
it.
but now we're afraid that like if anybody, like let's say my kids are at school and they see someone having a rough time, they're going to be like, "Oh, you're such a whore. You
Sorry,
whore.
You're having a whore-like day.
What's it like to
I
be
just
a whore?"
looked over at you and you just seemed like this dirty slut. And I was going to come over and put my arm around you.
Yeah.
Make sure
Whore.
everything's all right.
Yeah, whore.
I love just so
filthy whore.
diplomatic how,
through a rough
Amy
moment.
was just like,
She's
you know,
just-
and maybe there's times in her life where she feels like my body, my choices, but that's another level.
She's just
of,
having a hard time.
That's so
Anyway,
great.
so
well, this family has 2 small children. They contacted investigators after they said escorts and prostitutes were regularly exposing themselves on the family's front porch.
yeah, that's what I said. Get naked on the porch, and I'll be there to pick you
The
up.
family said it began in May of 2013. They told investigators incidents like this would happen up to as blank times a year. I'm going to ask you guys right now. On the high end, so we're going to give 2 numbers.
A year.
On the
A
high
year.
end, how many times did this happen a year before they contacted investigators? It's been going on since 2013. Tom, you want to go first or last?
I'll go first.
Okay.
17.
17 times a year. That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's more than once a month.
And that's when after years of that is when they called investigators. Jason Sklar.
I know you're going to think this is crazy, but I'm going to say 48 times a year.
40 almost once a week. They took like 4 weeks off
times a
vacation.
month. 4 times a month, and then they take off for Christmas and
30 times a year.
30 times a year. I'm going to tell you guys right now. Someone in this room has hit it on the head.
Oh,
Someone in this room has
You've
the
already won one of
number
these.
Already won one of
dead
these.
on. They told investigators that these incidents would occur as many as 30 times a year. Sklar.
holy Christ! I mean,
30
look,
times a year.
it's more than twice a month, so it's happening every other week.
And
It's
then-
happening.
Since 2013. And
That
then
is-
they call the cops.
But there is, on some level, I'm thinking of the guy who's sending the hookers over there. He does feel like he is playing God a little bit, right?
100%.
Like, I can get these women to do my bidding
The
for me.
assuredness of Tom going 100%.
100%. Feels like he is control. He's like moving the
He's a
chess
master
pieces,
manipulator,
right?
man.
He's moving
Yeah.
the chess
But do you think
pieces
at some
around.
point he was like, I was only going to do this like maybe 6-7 times. At
What
this point,
about
I've got to keep doing it
the
until they...
escort service who's just like this fucking guy again, and like
That's right.
he's like, yeah, no, I want another one. And
Private
Well, you
number?
didn't pay
Does he
us last
privatize
time.
That's what I'm saying.
his number?
Does he private
has
number?
To. He has to be a private number.
Get this, according to a neighbor who told WOWT6 News, the previous owners had a little bit of the same problem.
So
He's
this
doing
guy
it to
is
the
just
house.
doing it to the house.
So maybe so
he
taking
wanted
it
that
to the
house.
house.
That's
He wanted
why
that house.
he wanted that fucking
he's
house.
trying to fuck that house.
But
Yeah.
look at that.
Prove
I mean,
down.
first of all, I'm impressed that there's a, I don't want to say like a whore infrastructure, but that there's enough of this going on in a state like Nebraska.
in a city like what? Elkhorn?
Elksburg or Elkscorn?
Elkhorn.
Elkhorn?
Horny.
Has that many hookers?
I mean, unless they're pulling them from nearby Whoretown. But
Whoretown.
this is
That's
an
a great
Elkhorn-
podcast.
Yeah, Whoretown.
Whoretown.
Just people going through rough times.
Yeah.
they're just
Some
having a,
ladies
she's just
going
having a
through a
hard
tough
time.
time.
She's having a hard time.
Yeah, that is a lot. That's got to be, if that's happened that many times, a single hooker has been there more than once.
Yeah, a single
Yeah.
hooker has been like, this place looks familiar.
Yeah. Oh, I'm here again.
I remember
according-
not getting paid here. All right, let's do it
All
again.
right, let's do this.
I guess I'll go
On
back
the porch,
and get naked on
let's-
the porch anyway.
Yeah.
According to the family, many of the women became upset because they expected to be paid by someone in the residence. The family said they feared for their safety. Some of the individuals kicked at their door. According to police reports, one individual urinated on their property. You paid for this. You ordered it. I'm
right.
doing it. Then you're paying.
what do we
You got to tell the kids about those.
I got to
wars.
tell you, she needs a bathroom.
Look, she's going through a hard time.
Can we call that, if you pee on someone, that's a golden shower?
Yes.
If you pee on someone's property, golden bath?
Golden sprinkler.
Golden sprinkler.
golden
That's a
sprinkler,
golden
yeah.
sprinkler.
Just on the lawn.
You just peed on the lawn, that's a
a lawn
golden
show.
sprinkler. There you go.
Court
I
documents.
encourage my daughter is swimming and then she has to pee. I encourage her to pee in the grass, standing up. Because look, I don't want her to pee in the pool. But then the other day in
Really?
the house, she
What?
said, "Can I go in the go?"
Do
in
they
the
not
yard
pee in
and
the pool?
No, you're teaching your kid to go out and you
Yeah,
have to
go
let
pee
your
by the
daughter
dead
out
rat.
to pee.
Go pee by the rat.
I'm
Go
like,
pee by the dead
Go
rat.
out by the rat.
How
turn
old?
left. She's 3. 3.5. Hey, look, at least she's not doing it in her
I
pants.
guess
That's
it's a good
true.
idea to not at that
Not in the
age to
pool.
encourage. Yeah,
I'll put
because
it
then
out
they
in the
might.
grass.
Yeah,
She'll be able
Yeah.
to camp, that's for sure.
I mean,
That
yeah.
is for sure.
Yeah, she could work in Nebraska.
According
if
to
she
police
had
reports, as I said, one individual urinated on the property. Court documents filed Monday allege some of the women stripped naked on the family porch.
Awesome.
These women are whatever they were promised. They're coming to that house.
They're cool
to
chicks,
get.
like I
Yeah,
said.
look,
They're
ready to
cool
go.
chicks.
Uninhibited.
Yeah.
This deputies conducted surveillance in March and witnessed 2 women expose their breasts on the lighted porch. Turn the light off.
Yeah, do the. I mean, unless
We'll
it's a
leave the light
motion
on for
detector.
you.
Do you think though that's part of the call? Like when you get to the porch,
gonna be-
pull those
Take
titties out.
Yeah, get 'em out.
Yes.
Let me make sure I can see
Get
them through
naked.
the window.
This is how hard this case was to crack. They finally call the cops. Cops watch their house. 2 women show up, take their tits out. Deputies interviewed the women and discovered a number that traced back to
The neighbor, next door neighbor.
Douglas Goldsberry. Douglas Goldsberry.
You've done it again.
You are right. A neighbor.
Yep.
Investigators said Goldsberry admitted he was soliciting the prostitutes through a website. He told deputies he would discuss sexual acts for money and promise additional money if the girls would strip on the porch. Tom, you're exactly right.
I am Douglas Goldsberry.
But is Goldsberry's thing
Watching from afar.
watching from afar on a
Voyeuristically
porch like
wa-
that? He gets what he wants.
Maybe that's
I
what
think-
a Goldsberry is. Peeing
I
on the
think he's
porch.
getting such a rush from this.
He is
man.
getting
all of it.
From
He
all of
feels
it.
The order,
feels like God
the search.
Yes.
can
all
get
of
people to do stuff.
It's
for him.
from square one. It's from talking to them, discussing sexual acts,
Yes.
saying that there's like I'm going to take, and then they get excited about the money,
Oh.
and then he gets to see his plan in action.
Exactly.
Tom.
and especially the titties coming out.
You damn near wrote the next sentence of this article. Goldsberry, who lives in the same Elkhorn neighborhood as the family, would watch from a window and sometimes take photographs of the women.
Of course.
You're
That's
in
his
welcome to
trophy.
Dumb People Town, Tom
By the
Segura.
way,
Those are
if
his
he-
trophies,
If
man.
he doesn't get a little bit of the window pane in the photo, it's not working.
Right.
That's
Because
right.
it could be anywhere. You need to know that he's going through a
You
window.
know, like serial killers keep like the
Little trophies.
panty or the necklace.
Yeah.
And that's
Who
his
this
moment.
guy is.
What is his next step?
Quote, it's hard to be surprised by anyone. Sorry. It's hard to be surprised anymore sometimes with what people do, said Douglas County Attorney Don Clean.
Wait, this is Douglas Goldsberry, and he lives in Douglas County?
Yes.
Maybe he does feel like he is God. This is my county.
It's my county.
Namesake.
It's my county.
This one's a bit surprising. Goldsberry admitted he would regularly meet escorts at hotel rooms. He's facing charges of 1 count of pandering, 1 count of soliciting a prostitute. How only 1? And 10 counts of disturbing the peace.
This is minor.
This
minor
is a moment where he's like,
and Jacques Wilson could get him.
Justice. He is up to his elbows in escorts. He's meeting him at hotels.
Yes.
He's ordering him for the house.
He's
over
having
there.
him, and I love that too. He's like online. He's like, when you get to that
Maybe the
porch.
thrill. Maybe the thrill is that he sometimes meets them in hotels, right? And that's when he can. But maybe he's like, I can't have them at my house, but there's just a thrill in that they're across the street.
That's right.
So he's
They're
like,
close.
it's like they're close, right?
They're in the hood.
They're in the hood.
Can you imagine
and
though-
fuck that family.
He doesn't have to pay for it.
Right.
So there's that. So he doesn't have to.
Skips out on
Which
paying.
is like Tom said, that's on the company for keep sending these women to an address that no one ever pays.
Nobody ever pays.
But imagine if you you're the Corey Feldman and Burbs of this neighborhood, and you're just walking your dog or whatever, and telling your friends like, "Oh shit, watch this! What this girl's about to go up to this house."
yeah.
Shit's get-"
Yeah,
like
that's it.
I would never want this to stop. This is hilarious.
the best.
Yeah.
By the way,
best.
the reason this went on for years is that every dude in the hood was
Didn't
like,
let it stop. We don't need to call this
it'll,
one in.
It'll
Work
work
itself
itself out.
If my neighbor was
It'll-
doing that, I would be in heaven. Yeah.
honey, you got to stop this right now. It will. Let's get our noses.
Wait,
out
wait,
of
you're
other people's
walking the
business.
She's taking
dog
a piss.
again?
She's pissing on his
She's
porch
being-
right now.
You're walking the dog again.
Yeah,
The dog was walked 5 minutes ago.
Dog needs a lot of exercise.
Dog's getting fat. Look at
Dog,
the
look at the
dog.
dog.
Yeah.
Can't
If
dog
any of
get
us
fat.
lived in this neighborhood, that'd be in 20 minutes of an album.
Oh, I'm sorry,
right
honey.
there, just living in that neighborhood.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. You want the dog to get hips dysplasia because he's carrying extra weight. Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
I'll just sit here.
I'll
watch our-
sit here and let him die
Dog
from
will
hip
die.
dysplasia, or I can walk the dog.
Hello.
That's crazy.
Wow, I love it, man.
Incredible.
That's first of all resourcefulness. That's utility. This guy has earned his name, Goldsberry. He gets a Goldsberry star.
Douglas Goldsberry
from
of Douglas
Douglas
County.
County.
in Elkhorn, Nebraska.
You have
bless.
made it into Dumb People Town. All right, we come back. One quick story and then a very
Special
special voicemail. Tom Segura is with us. Dan Van Kirk. Dumb People Town. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
Hey there, Adam Conover here. Humans Who Make Games is my podcast where I sit down with the people who created some of your favorite video games and have the kind of long-form personal conversation we so rarely get to hear. We talk about how they got into the industry, what their favorite games were growing up, and what it's like working in the trenches of this century's greatest new art form. This season, we've got a whole batch of new interviews for you. I talked to Kim Swift from Portal, Alex Preston from Hyperlight Drifter, Anna McGill from Control, and Alex Beecham from the game Outer Wilds. Whether you love video games or you just love learning more about other artists' creative process, I can guarantee you're going to love this podcast. So, you can get Season 2 of Humans Who Make Games wherever you get your podcasts. Take a listen.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Dumb People Town.
glad you're here.
We're here. We're psyched to have you. Join the Facebook page, as we mentioned. Hey, listen to this show, rate it, and review it on iTunes. That always helps us bounce up the list.
If you're looking at the top, you will also find Tom Segura's great podcast with his wife called Your Mom's House. And it is always in the top, like bouncing around the top 50. It's there, man.
It's there.
great
Yeah.
to be up there.
keep subscribe to that, because if you like this, you will definitely like that podcast as well. It's super fun. Dan, you got one more story?
I
for
do.
us?
This
Bring
was
us
sent
home.
in by Nate D at Nate D 80 NATED 80.
Sounds like a guy who owns a pizza place that's also an arcade that also has escorts.
Nate D80.
Nate D80.
Oh man, you had me till the third one, and then you really had me.
Yeah, great. Then you wrote me.
Rock River. Actually, I'm sorry, I even said it wrong. Rocky River,
Rocky River.
Ohio.
Oh,
nice.
snap.
Police in suburban
Swing
Cleveland.
State.
I'm going to read this to you guys, and then we're going to talk about the conversation this guy had with either his legally separated wife or himself. Police in suburban Cleveland say a half-naked man intentionally crashed his car into a closed convenience store to get beer, injuring himself and a store employee. First of all, if you're closed, that employee should have gone home.
Okay.
Don't loiter around. Don't pay.
Which half? It's
Which
got to
half?
be the lower
Upper or
half.
lower?
That's
I
the
think
other-
he's naked from the waist down.
Oh, he has to be.
half naked only is pants and
Half naked means
Yeah.
pants are off. Shirtless is you're not wearing a shirt.
And his shirt.
Boxers?
No.
Boxers
No,
only?
no.
no,
completely
it's
nude.
free balling it.
Yeah.
Just but a t-shirt.
Yes,
Yes,
t-shirt.
a
Donald
Big
Duck in
Johnson
it.
t-shirt. What did you say?
Donald Duck in it, right?
Donald
Like,
Duck in it. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
remember when the Cubs wanted a mascot?
We
the
talked
Chicago
about
Cubs,
this, yes.
and their mascot didn't have pants, but he had shoes
High
that
tops,
were
like laced up.
high tops.
That's the part that made
dude,
it weird.
If
Yeah, it
you
was
have tie, like if you had laces tied,
high top, high
and your
tops.
dick is out,
Yeah, gotta be pants.
You're
Yeah.
spending the wrong time on the wrong
I want
thing.
this guy to just be wearing a Big Johnson Fire Department t-shirt, says "Find 'em hot, leave 'em wet,"
yeah.
and
Nothing.
swimming shoes. That,
Yeah.
that he slid those on real quick.
Like no river shoes, like
Yes.
those that allow you to walk on like rocks and
Yeah.
stuff
Rocky
like
River,
that.
man. This is
Rocky
It
River.
is.
You got to put your Rocky River
Can
shoes
you have
on.
the straps, the Velcro straps?
Yeah,
you know?
Velcro
He can go
straps
those.
over it.
He can go
Socks
those.
Skeletos
and the
Ankles.
the FBI T-shirt, the female
Yeah,
body.
I'll switch it up.
inspector.
We can
Yeah.
go that for sure. For sure. And a Guy Fieri visor.
So
Yeah.
he crashes into.
sunglasses.
But
around,
imagine
like
if
backwards on his head.
He drove purposefully, drove into a closed convenience store to get beer.
How drunk are you to be that desperate for it, to come up
Right.
with the plan
Right.
and to go through? Because you're not like 2 beers in.
Yeah,
No,
right?
you're
and
about 10 beers in
How
and you'd be
dickish
in.
are your friends that didn't believe you'd go get some
I'll
beer?
fucking do it.
I'll do
Yeah.
it. No,
Yeah.
hey,
Whoa,
hey,
whoa,
hey,
whoa,
we're
it's
closed.
closed.
It's
Dude.
closed. Don't go.
You want to talk some? You want
No,
fuck
no
with
one's
me?
talking
no one's
anything.
talking
It's
shit.
closed.
Yeah, we're just telling you
we
it's
don't
closed.
need beer.
Dude, he's not going to go. It's
Fuck,
closed.
Fuck the 3 of y'all right now.
No. I told you
no.
you could drink some of my beer.
Watch
got
this
beer.
shit.
Where are you
Oh,
going?
shit.
Shit, where's he
I'm
going?
gonna go get it.
No,
You gotta put some
it's
pants
closed.
on for
Yeah,
Christ's
put
sake.
pants on.
Put on shit. And guess what? I'm gonna drive right through the fucking front door.
Okay. Kyle.
No,
I looked it up. They're closed.
No.
They're closed.
3 of y'all are pussies.
No.
No,
What?
no.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
We don't
pussies.
need to
Yeah,
take
you are.
it
You
don't
here,
need to go.
What are we
man.
gonna drink? What are we gonna drink?
We are not going to drink. We're going to drink some of his beer. We don't need to
go,
get it.
guys.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
not
know.
going to go.
8 minutes.
No,
He's
he's
not
not
gonna go.
going.
I
not
bet
going.
you in 8 minutes I'll crash
You know what? I'm
through
gonna
that
take that
fucking
bet.
door.
I'm gonna take that bet.
I'll get beer and I'll be back here in 8 minutes.
I'll take that bet too.
No way in hell.
No
There's
way.
no
Just
way
let
in
him
hell.
go.
He's
Kyle.
not going to go. What's he
All
going
right.
to do? Crash through the door
Bet.
with no pants
Bet.
on?
Bet.
Bet.
Eight. What's 8 times 3?
I have no
16?
idea.
Y'all owe me that.
The best too is that this conversation continued even when you're alone in the car. Like,
100%.
Tell me I'm not gonna go.
Gonna tell me I
pussies.
can't. Gonna tell me. Gonna
them.
tell me.
Gonna tell me I'm gonna have $24 in about fucking 6 minutes.
This beer gonna pay for itself. Gonna tell me.
Why is it $8?
Why is it 8 each?
I don't know.
8 each.
Rocky River police say the driver was wearing nothing from the waist down.
Amazing.
We know dumb people town.
You really
we
do.
know dumb people behavior.
When he crashed through the store early Sunday, and then, guys, this is my favorite part. He crashes through the store, then tells the worker he needs beer
Yeah.
I need beer, man.
from the window.
Yeah.
And you know it's a crank. It's
Yeah,
a crank.
crank
It's a
laying down.
crank.
And he's abusive, like, hey, pussy.
Get up, motherfucker.
Let's go.
Come on,
I
man.
need beer.
I need
it
beer.
now.
Y'all got insurance, right?
Let me have, that thing?
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
just
He's treating
yeah,
it like a drive-up.
drive-through. Yeah, let me have a Michelob.
You got Rolling Rock? No?
You got ice house? I feel like beating my stepkids. You got ice house?
Load it up.
I'll take a 24-pack Ice House.
Pops the trunk for him.
Load it up. Load it up. No, you can load. You load it up,
You
son
load it
bitch.
up.
I'm gonna
Throw a
tip
bag
your
of
ass.
ice. Matt. Throw a bag of ice in there.
Throw a
Acting
bag
like
of
that,
ice.
you ain't gonna get a tip. I'll tell you that right now.
The whole time he's doing this, his nuts are
Nuts
just
are
Just
out.
out.
Just
Just
hanging
hot.
free.
Just
in
hot.
the breeze. In the
Here's
breeze.
what I love. Ready? Police say that when they arrived, the man barricaded himself inside a beer cooler and told the police to shoot him.
We're at way more beers. We're at way more beers than we thought. There's no way. This is not 10
He's
beers.
like into a
You
party
know
ball.
he's pressing his balls up against the front of the
Shoot
thing.
'em, motherfuckers.
Shoot it.
freezing.
This
if you
is
freezing.
He started drinking just after 10.
Friday?
Yeah. I mean, like it's like
It's
No,
Sunday.
he's into like
Yeah.
a whole party ball.
10
maybe.
a.m. I'm saying, he's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
morning, all. Yeah, it's like he's hit waves of recovery, but then
Just
there
every
was a point-
interaction that he has with anybody is, oh, we're doing this.
There was a
fucking
point where
doing
he
it.
like
We're doing
quietly looked around the room with a weird little face, and then goes, I think I drunk myself sober.
yeah.
Like, no, you didn't.
Guys, I think I'm sober.
I think
though."
I'm sober, and then he's like, "You ever put a straw in the tip of your dick and see if you can drink from it?" And they're like, "What?"
No, the-
No.
And then they're like, "No, he's not sober."
No, he's not. Anytime someone theorizes that they drank themselves sober, that is like,
Hey,
that is the
if
theory
I-
of a
if really
I-
drunk
if
person.
I
If I pee into another man's penis, is that gay?
No, it's just incredibly
It's not.
accurate.
Right?
you guys ask a question?
Are they touching?
Can I ask you
No,
guys a
you're
question? You ever just like look at your legs and say, I hate pants?
There they go.
There they go. Break my pants.
Oh my God.
Breakaway sweats.
So he's standing behind one of the glass doors saying, shoot me. Shoot me.
There had to be a physical fight before he left the house.
Oh
too.
yeah.
Oh,
Like, there was
first.
one
Well, no,
last.
he definitely took someone's car that wasn't his own. That's not his car.
That's
Oh.
not his car for sure.
Yeah, his girlfriend Mary Beth like tried to stop him twice.
and
from
as
leaving.
he's like, he was using this is an older car, so he's put the key in the door, to open it. Like it's not a
Yes.
fucking.
Yeah, it's not a
He, had to- he
Yeah.
definitely had to take the club off first.
Right.
And it's in his driveway.
As that person ran out, I was like, get off my fucking
on,
car,
man.
man.
he jumped in his car and begged someone to blow so that he could pull away. Someone come fucking blow on this so I can go get beer.
It won't start unless someone can blow it.
Put some fucking pants on. Fuck you. And then just one last punch.
He asked cops to shoot him. They decided to go with a stun gun. The cops
that's-
were like, okay, here, stay still
sure.
for a second. The driver was taken to a hospital, as was the store employee who suffered leg and chest injuries that weren't considered critical. The driver has been charged with impaired driving. So he drives in. Police say this. The worker was fortunate that the deli counter was between him and the car, preventing serious injuries for the worker. So he drove in, hit the counter that the guy's standing behind. That guy's laid out, and he starts yelling at him to get beer.
Yep.
To get out on this, I ask you guys, how old is the driver who went for search of beer without pants? Tom, you want to go first or last?
31.
31 years old from Tom
good.
Segura.
This guy's 26.
26.
I think he's 22.
22.
I think he's young. That's the work of a young, dumb dude.
Rocky River Police say the driver, who we named Kyle at some point, is 45 years old. 2 for 3, Tom Segura.
Wow.
Closest. 45.
That's how old we are.
I've been doing this for a minute, man.
Which means 2 of those fights happened with his kids.
Oh yeah. And
Jesus.
Stepkids.
And
Did you
one
say
in the
stepkids?
presence. I would say one in the presence of a grandkid.
Oh, yeah.
You know that was one is
Toddler,
in the
like in
presence-
in a pack and play,
or a
that has
toddler
not
in
been
one
out of
of
that
those,
thing for like hours.
on one of those
Sitting in his
activity
own
centers
shit.
that just kind of rotates
Yeah.
around and the
Sitting in
toddler's
his own shit for like 3 hours.
And his kids are like, you really think we all need to see your dick again? Like,
I told you I don't like pants. You're at my house, so either take yours off or leave.
all right.
Certainly
I'll take
don't
it
say anything about me doing what I want to do in my house. I am taking the car out and going to a convenience store. That thing is not open. It is now.
It's about to be.
It's about to be open.
It should be because only a 45-year-old would at least be like, I don't care if someone sees me naked. You know what I mean? Like at 22, you might be like,
You'd care. By the
You
way,
care.
another great bit on your album.
What's
The
that?
old-
the old people. Yeah,
Old
Thanks,
people
man.
And you
being
know-
just
Thank
super
you, man.
confident with their bodies in
After-
every way,
after
shape, or
being
form.
arrested.
Doesn't care what size.
Yeah, they don't. They really don't.
They really don't.
Jock Wilson's phone rang that night after he was arrested.
Well, it's funny because
Before
I
you know, we
mentioned
thought
the-
it was going to be a voicemail.
So I have a voicemail. We actually have a phone call from the Manitowoc County prison. Is it the state lockup? I don't even know if it's a state
County,
lockup.
Manitowoc County, I think.
State lockup where they're holding Stephen Avery making a murder. I wonder when the second season of Making a Murder
They're really
is.
holding it out. 'cause
It's
they want
gotta
to
be
get good
coming
ratings.
soon.
It's
Yeah.
got to be
Yeah.
coming soon
I mean,
because there's going to be some Brendan Dassey getting out
almost
stuff.
a year and a half since the first
Right?
season.
Don't make us wait so much. I mean, come on.
What are you, The Sopranos? Come on.
I have such a conflicted thing of wanting a second season of that show to come out. It's like it's not Game of Thrones is fake. I
Right.
want that shit to come out because I love that
It's
stuff.
so fantastic.
So good. But like
that
wanting-
album, by the way, one of the bonus tracks is about making a murder.
Oh.
Because I'm just obsessed with it.
Fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well,
Well,
then I'm very excited because we have Stephen Avery on the line right now.
Calling into the show
Calling
because he
into
had
the
a
show.
question about representation.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see if we can't get him on the line right now.
Hello,
Avery.
Stephen?
Stephen, are you there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Who's this?
Who is this? It's the Sklar brothers.
Oh, hey guys, how are you?
We're good, man. How you doing in there?
Oh, I'm good. Now, don't get strange on me.
We're not getting.
No
No,
one-
one's getting
Ah,
strange.
yeah,
on
you are. You guys always call me up. You get strange.
No,
No,
one's
no
getting
one's getting
strange.
strange.
Nobody talked to Jody. She's still drinking.
What is a 7-letter word for a toy that spins?
Dreidel? Dreidel?
All right, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead and look that up. I didn't realize you were doing work and stuff there.
It's not work.
Well, wait. So, season 2 of Making a Murder is going to be coming out.
Yeah.
We have with us Tom Segura, who's such a fan of Making a Murder. One of the bonus
Big
tracks.
fan.
Huge fan. One of the bonus
Thanks.
tracks on his
Album is about
Making a Murderer.
Yeah. Well,
And-
you guys know lots of lawyers, right?
We do know lots of lawyers.
Well,
In
yes.
fact, we just literally just talked about one of the greatest
Yeah.
lawyers ever.
He got a guy off,
You
right?
got the guy. You heard
That's
that?
what I
Apparently.
think.
Yeah, you
I'm
got
up
the guy.
against Ken over here.
Jacques Wilson. Yeah, so you don't want Ken Kratz to represent you, although he said he may represent you.
I mean, at this point, I'll take it.
Yeah,
you
you'll
know?
take it if you want.
Those other guys, they didn't do nothing for me.
Yeah,
They
you'll
really
nothing.
didn't
do
But
nothing.
did you do anything?
No, I didn't do nothing.
You
I
didn't do nothing,
it.
okay.
You know,
Yeah,
everybody tries to say I do. The only thing I ever did is get Jody another beer.
You also threw a cat into a fire.
Over a
But
fire.
let's-
To be fair, that was a bet with
That
the
was
cat.
not a bet
no,
with the
no.
cat. Come
Yes.
on. Not a bet with
Yeah,
the cat.
dude. Yeah,
Well,
I lost. I lost the bet to the cat.
Okay.
That was the cat won the
The
bet.
cat did not win a bet to
Yeah,
go into a fire.
No,
Okay.
the cat's bet was that if it won, it got to get thrown over a fire, and I missed.
no one, no winning a bet is being thrown
I
over
signed a
an
waiver.
open flame.
The cat and I signed a waiver.
You, the cat did not sign a
Yeah.
waiver.
Yeah, I got. It sounds very probable.
Uh-oh.
Well,
hold on a second.
Oh.
Jacques Wilson. Jacques Wilson,
Oh,
the
is that the
lawyer
lawyer?
who got
Yes.
the. Yeah, Jacques Wilson is with us right now. He's the lawyer who got the
Oh.
He
guy.
might be open to representing you. I don't know.
First of all, I have to say it's an absolute pleasure
Oh, thanks.
to speak with you. I think that your cat waiver sounds not only probable, but I would encourage others to sign documents with their feline friends.
Oh, thanks. They got me locked up in here. I feel like it ain't right. I feel like I shouldn't be in there.
Just from the few moments I've been speaking with you, I can tell you, I can sense it ain't right.
Thanks.
Are you sensing there's injustice happening right now?
Great injustice is coming through the phone lines.
I agree with that too. What is a
Mr.
4-letter
Avery.
word for something you swim in?
We don't know.
It's a pond.
Oh,
Could you
that
tell
works.
me why you're locked up currently?
Well, okay. Here's what happened, right? I let these guys. They come hang out at my thing. They say want to look around. Then all of a sudden, they try to say I do something I didn't do. And then they want me to take all the money from me. I didn't do it.
The
Go talk to
old
somebody
I
else.
didn't do it, but you made it seem like I did.
Yeah, like that. You think I should come up with something better?
No, that sounds like injustice to me.
That's a great injustice. And I actually remember a case of equal injustice in which we got somebody out who's just like you.
Who was that? Who would that
What'd
be?
they do?
That was, I believe his name was Kevin Queens.
Kevin Queens. I remember the case of
He was
Kevin
the king
Queens.
of Queens.
The
was?
King of Queens.
No.
Yeah, that was how they
Don't
wrote it in
get
the
strange.
paper.
You get strange now?
Nah,
Strange.
nah.
Well, why don't you come down here and get me out? Because, we got Ken Kratz. He's asking people if aliens did it. And then they said, no, aliens didn't do it. And I said, why not? Could it possible aliens did it? And then they locked me up in here, And now
Big secret, open secret. Aliens do a lot more shit that they're not supposed to do, and they don't get blamed for it enough.
well, let's start blaming for this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I didn't do nothing.
We know you do. We know you think you didn't do anything, but sometimes it doesn't matter what happened. It's more about what the defense is. So if you were defending this guy, no matter what the facts are, what would you say to a judge and jury?
What do you have in your defense fund, first of all?
Well, right now, I don't got much, I got Park Place from Monopoly McDonald's, and if I get the other one, if I get Boardwalk, I'll have a boat there, and then that'll be a lot of money to help me out.
Enough said.
I think he just agreed to take the case.
You taking the
Well,
case?
that's a certain style of defense
Oh, okay.
that I would present for you.
Enough said defense.
Enough said.
So don't say any more.
Do you ever hear the story about the construction worker and the squirrel?
No.
Oh, I'm fascinated to hear this one.
It's too long.
Okay.
But
Okay.
basically,
I got time.
it's just that you can't take shit from nobody. Mm-hmm. And that's what I would tell the jury.
Okay.
all right.
And in that story, I don't know if it's the squirrel taking shit from the construction worker or the construction worker taking shit from the
I'm
squirrel.
done taking shit. You
Yeah,
know?
that's
I don't do it
actually
anymore.
no one's defended him quite like
I'm
that.
trying to find a 3-letter word that you hear things with.
Your ear. That's an EAR. That's an ear.
It doesn't fit
Yeah,
though, because I
yeah,
think
just-
the one I have
yeah.
going down is
All
wrong.
right.
Then,
All right. Then
hold on. What's something you ride with loops? It's a 12-letter word.
12-letter word. You ride with loops.
It has to start with an R if ear is your answer.
Rhinoceros.
Railroad.
Oh, let me see if that fits.
All right, look, I think he's charging by the hour, so we're wasting
That's
his
fine.
time.
I told you already. I could only pay a Monopoly pieces
understand
from
that.
McDonald's.
Steven's getting upset.
Let's let him go.
Alright.
Jacques, thank you for
Jacques,
joining
thank
us.
you for
Steven, not guilty. You're not guilty. I'm going to help you get out.
Thanks. I'm gonna get another mullet.
Okay,
All right,
sounds
thank you,
good.
Steve Avery. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still there. You
Steve,
gotta hang up.
get off, Steve.
Okay.
All right, goodbye.
Bye, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
You gotta go, Steve.
Okay then.
All right, bye, Steve.
Yeah.
Bye. But no,
No.
Steven, goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Steven.
Bye.
All right. Wow, Dan. Oh my goodness.
Holy Christ.
Man,
That was a fun
Crazy.
show today.
Yeah, great
I
show.
loved
today.
it.
Tom Segura. You can follow him on Twitter. You can pick up the album, which is really the Netflix special. If you've seen that Netflix special, if you
Give it
haven't,
5 stars and listen to his great podcast as
give
well.
that
His
5 stars
wife.
as well. Your Mom's House.
Such a fun
and so
show.
happy to have you on, dude.
thank you for
And
having
we'll-
me. This is a really fun time.
we'll
man.
have you back,
Always
my
good
man.
Tom,
to see you guys.
we hung out at JFL, and then we ended up in the airport watching the Olympics together in French.
Jesus.
Do you remember that? We had no clue what was happening. We just sat there eating horrible food,
Were
watching
we
the Olympics.
hungover?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
Sure,
JFL. JFL.
Well, from that to here,
man.
we've made it, guys. Thank you, Dumb People Townies. Join the Facebook page and
Rate, review.
let's try and beat the dumbness with comedy. That's how we do it here. And let's get back to work. Huh?
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down. It's Dumb People Town.